right here we have this two SoundLinks, SoundLink Mini 2 and SoundLink Mini 1. And Mini 1 has the mesh off right now, but we're basically gonna see if there's any difference at all, which there probably isn't gonna be much of one, being that they're both the same size and they're both minis. Now, I have heard actually that there's yet a third one, or just a third type of mini on the store right now, which is kind of strange because I don't know if you have the 1, the 2, and I guess there's a 3, and they probably all sound the same. They just have different features, I guess. So as you can see, there are different features on here. I prefer this one a bit more because it's easier to use, I think. And this one, we have a multimedia button. I have no clue what I can do with it each time. Each time I touch it, it does something different, I feel. But it might, I don't know, it may not matter. Also, it does talk a lot, and it probably, it's on the verge of dying, I guess, because the battery's out. So I don't know if it just died, and we won't be able to compare. But this guy's ready to go. And as you can see, the drivers are a lot alike to this one. Remember this guy? Yeah, they're a lot alike compared to this guy. I guess the cone, or not the cone, but the stuff around the cone is a little bit different, but still, I don't know, it's sort of the same idea. So should we just go ahead and give this one, we're starting with this one, we'll give it a beat and we'll see how it does. By the way, this table does not do very good at reflecting the purity or whatever the heck, but we'll see it.
3, 2, 1.
So that was pretty interesting. We're gonna go ahead and do that. And then, so one thing I noticed though for the SoundLink Mini is that it is kind of
battery percent.
If you put it in your pocket, it'll probably bring your pants down, which is, I actually like to put it in my pockets, and it is decently heavy, so I don't know what to say about that. And honestly, I hear that the micro is decent. It's just extremely low battery. Like the battery range it's very tiny. Honestly though, it's probably about the same as the sound dock that I have. So the sound dock that I have is pretty much the same. So we can't even connect to this guy. So I'll just tell you how it goes. These two SoundLinks are relatively close. One thing that is different about this one is, I don't know if all SoundLink Minis are like this, but this one happens to have, I don't know what to call it, like a transition issue, and
connected to iPhone.
Yeah.
Ready to pair another device.
It's just babbling to me, so it's kind of like the color, like the SoundLink color. So as for the SoundLinks though, this one's different because, it has an interesting issue when you adjust the volume. And also when you press these buttons, they have a little bit to offer. Well, if you just press these ones, it'll deal with the phone. So let's go ahead and hit this guy up. I think I got it to pair, and you'll see that the volume changes a lot. Or it doesn't change as much as it changes on this one. This one kind of shoots to max volume even before the volume's maxed out, and this one kind of just eases on up that way.
3, 2, 1.
See, as you can see, it starts at a lower point. If you hit this, it'll actually adjust the volume over here, which in my opinion makes me feel like I'm getting less, best sound, but could just be, I don't know, the treble sounded just as much, but it could just be that, the like mesh is on, maybe the air isn't coming out as, you know, rapidly, or maybe it's not being reduced at all, because usually there's like, I don't know. Anyway, it could be reduced, the air, and so this thing sounds a bit more vibrating toward the table. Also, it is older, like a bit older than this thing, so this thing may have better grounding. So, now we go to this thing. This thing is not a SoundLink Mini or a SoundLink at all. This is the speaker cube, obviously. It's a cube, and it's pretty gigantic. Yeah, so remember I was kind of trash talking it. It is a pretty big speaker for what it puts out. It does put out a bit more bass than these guys. Not I don't know, not as much treble. I mean, but one thing I would like to say that it is really good at is Bluetooth. The Bluetooth it's got is amazing. It can stretch throughout your house, no problem. Well, until you put, you know, like flesh in between it, like, you know, if you have it in your pocket and you bend down. But it's amazing because it'll even connect to you out in the yard. I tried it once, it was pretty good. So, there we go. Bluetooth definitely is an A+. As for the minis, this guy makes me have the feel that, you know, there's more being offered than this guy when it comes to volume. So anyway, for a while I actually ended up hating this guy, but then I noticed the purity and I was like, you know, he's good. So anyway, that's it for SoundLinks. They're awesome. SoundLink Minis are awesome. And bye.